Hello everybody and welcome to this week's video. Today I needed a trusty, old reliable, had no ideas, so I'm doing a 24-hour readathon. I'm going to try and do it as like a straight 24 hours. If I fall asleep, I fall asleep. I'm a sleepy person. I love a nap in the middle of the day. I very much need to cut that out of my routine, but here we are. So it is literally 9 o'clock right now, 9 p.m. at night. Obviously I'm in my pajamas, so sorry about that, but I went to film this and then my throat got really dry and I started like having a coughing fit, so I had to refilm it, which is annoying because I was doing it so that I could start at bang on 9 o'clock and now I can't, so I'm gonna take my time with the intro this time. The options for this readathon, because I've never done a full, like a true been awake for 24 hours readathon. I've done one where I did the timer method and I read something ridiculous like 13 books in 24 hours based on that, and then I did one where I fell asleep for way too long and I only read 3 books. So I don't know what like a good middle ground for that is, providing I stay awake. So I've picked out I think 6 physical books, and then I've got some arcs that I need to binge because they are like, NetGalley wants the reviews by the weekend and it's currently Monday, so I need to sort those out. But the options that I've got for today, I've got 4 romances that I could go for. So I've got Rival Darling by Alexandra Moody. I think this is YA. It's not spicy. I don't know if that instantly makes it YA or if you can still have an adult romance without spice. I don't know what the ruling is on that, but I know it's not spicy and it is on Kindle Unlimited, so that'll be handy for during the night. But this, I actually don't know what it is. Obviously Rival Darling implies enemies to lovers. Don't know about that. We've got Violet is left heartbroken by the captain of her school's ice hockey team and vows never to date a jock again. But to prove she's moved on, she turns to the most unlikely person, her ex's biggest rival and notorious captain of the other team. And then his name is Reed Darling. That's a choice. Is mysterious and intimidating, a ruthless heartbreaker and a bad boy. Who better to serve as Violet's fake boyfriend until her ex gets the message right? So fake dating, grumpy sunshine I'm getting from that maybe, but I'll give this a go, see what I think of it. If it's not for me, I'll obviously just give it a rest, because you know, gotta keep the motivation going for that. So next option is Life's Too Short by Abby Jimenez. This is just like the next one in like the timeline of Abby Jimenez books being released that I need to read. I did jump the gun a little bit because I wanted to read Say You'll Remember Me when it came out for my book club. So I've read The Friend Zone, The Happy Ever After playlist and Say You'll Remember Me. So this is my next one. I like Abby Jimenez's books. They are easy to read and quick to get through, but other than, I think Say You'll Remember Me was like a 4.75, but the other 2 books were a 3, so I think this might fall into the 3 category again. So we'll see how that goes. Then just some shorter romances. I've got Nora Goes Off Script and Same Time Next Summer by Annabelle Monaghan. These are, you can literally see they're like tiny, so I just thought these would be good to quick fire through some, hopefully. But I don't know much about either of those. I think Nora Goes Off Script is like a film gets shot at this lady's house or something. So my laptop is doing a bunch of pop-ups because oh no. Okay, I've got it to work again. Then the final 2 books I've got physically, I have actually started one of them, but I only read like a chapter. It is A Game of Hearts and Heists by Ruby Rowe, and I wanted to pick this up because obviously June is Pride Month. Every time I say that I'm convinced I'm wrong, but I know it's Pride Month because my book club is doing a sapphic romance for it, so I know I'm right. And this is a sapphic fantasy, so I thought I'd start it, give it a go, be on theme. I don't remember much. I know it's an enemies to lovers, like almost friends with benefits I sort of see a bit on the back maybe. Obviously it's a fantasy, so it says 2 women, 2 deadly professions, and a romance that could be their downfall. This steamy lesbian fantasy romance with enemies to lovers, a heist, found family, a secret royal, babes on bikes, and only one bed. This sounds like a bit of me, but I am gutted it's not on Kindle Unlimited. I truly thought it was, because it's like that. When books are indie published and on Kindle Unlimited, you can sort of tell by the feel of the book. This feels like it should be on Kindle Unlimited, and it's not, and I'm devastated. So I will get through this, hopefully, because I think it's fairly short as well, because it does that thing where there's a bunch of blank pages at the back for no reason. So it's only like, oh, is that an epilogue? I actually can't tell. It's about 330 pages, so it's not too bad, but I do want to get to this as well. Hate leaving a book unfinished. That's my one thing I hate doing. And then finally, for physical books I own, I don't know if it counts as my book club. Basically, I'm on Ellen Catherine's Patreon, and everybody in the Discord is reading this series at the moment, Paladin's Grace. I think it's got an actual like series name, but let me see if I can find it. Is it called Saint of Steel series, maybe? I don't know. But it's by T. Kingfisher. I've never read a T. Kingfisher book before, and everyone's reading this series, and I feel left out. So I went and I bought it today. I used my Waterstones points, so it was free, which is great because I am broke this month because I don't get paid till next month for my new job. I didn't know that when I made a bunch of pre-orders, but here we are. So I want to get to this. I know nothing about this series. Even the lady working in Waterstones was like, this is a great book, and then listed off all of T. Kingfisher's other books I should check out. So I'm excited to get to this. And then for the arcs I need to get to, I am about 5% into one on my Kindle called One Beach, Two Babes and a Squid, I think it's called, which is like a rom-com thriller type thing, I think. Which I didn't realise going into it because I requested it a while ago, and when I got it I was like, oh yeah, this is like a giant squid attack. No babe, no it's not, that's wrong. So reading that at the moment, it's quite funny, but I'm not really like into it yet, so hopefully I can finish that. Kindle reckons I can do it in 5.5 hours, so that would be a good place to start, I think. And then I've got another book that I need to, hang on, I might be able to see it on my Kindle actually, because I send every arc that I get to my Kindle just because that's how I'm going to read them. So I've got obviously One Beach, Two Babes and the Squid, and then there's another one that's soon I need to do it. I can't remember what it's called because I don't think it's a Fellowship of Bakers and Magic. It's in that series, but that's not what it's called. It's like Librarians and Dragons or something. Let me see if I can find it. Oh, no, not on the Wi-Fi because we changed the Wi-Fi recently. I'm pretty sure the book is called A Fellowship of Librarians and Dragons, and it is by J. Penner. And I think, weirdly, the video I'm watching at the moment is, what is her name on YouTube? Faith's Reading Things. And she's literally, I've paused it and she is holding the first book in this series. I haven't read the first book. I'm hoping it's an interconnected standalones moment where I can just read them in any order. But she's holding the first book in the series and talking about that when I've paused it, so I thought that was fun. But I want to get to that one, and then one that isn't due for a while, so I've got time to not read it in this video, is Big Corpse on Campus by Karis Walsh. I actually do really want to read that because, again, it's like a romance thriller kind of thing, like a student shows up dead on campus, and it just sounds really fun, and it's quite short, so maybe I will get to that at some point today, in the next 24 hours. So there's the options. I am going to start with One Beach, Two Babes and the Squid because I'm already reading it, and I've got a deadline to read it by Sunday, I think, to review it by Sunday. So I'm going to start there. I've now talked for almost 10 minutes, which means I can start my timer on an exact-ish number. So I'll just wait for this to turn. I think this will be backwards for you guys, but it says 1 day. So as soon as it turns 10 minutes past 9, I'm going to start this. Oh, there we go. So timer has started. Let's see how much I can read in 24 hours. So I'm just under 2 hours in. I'm now at 22 hours 7 minutes left on the timer, and I am 50% through One Beach, Two Babes and a Squid, and the Squid, whatever it's called, which is an arc. I believe this comes out on the 1st of June maybe, or it's being archived on the 1st of June. It might already be out, I don't really know. Very new to reviewing arcs, so this is maybe my 3rd one, but I'm not loving it, which feels really harsh to say, but the point of view switches every chapter, but the chapters aren't particularly long. They've got, obviously I'm on my Kindle and it doesn't have the page numbers very annoyingly, but I think it can't be too long. It's like 2 pages, 3 pages per chapter. It's mental. So I'm getting a little bit lost in the POV. As I said before, it's a bit of like a mystery, like a rom-com mystery type thing, and the mystery is just getting so convoluted. Like, the Russian mob is involved, there's strip clubs, there's like a realtor, is that how you say it? I don't know. Like, there's a guy selling condos that is involved. There's just a lot going on, and our main female character has like a secret identity where she is an agent for these strippers, obviously giving them a safer, I don't know, safer environment, safer work ethics. I don't know if that's what I mean. It's very late now, it's like 11 at night and I should be asleep. But yeah, there's just a lot going on, and like our main guy also has a secret identity because he's a her PI, is that personal investigator? Private investigator, that's the word. So he's going under a fake name as well. It's just a lot happening and it's getting a little bit tough to follow. I'm enjoying it enough that I'm going to continue, but equally I could DNF this and I wouldn't care what the ending is. So I'm going to keep going. It is sitting at about a 2.5 at the moment, which this is the lowest rated book that I will have read for NetGalley, but I'm going to keep going. I'm sure it'll be fine. Kindle says I've only got 2.5 hours left, so I'll get back to you in 2.5 hours when I finish it, hopefully. So it is now 10 to midnight. I'm extremely tired, so I am gonna call it for today. I've been reading for 3 hours and 40 minutes ish. So I've got 21 hours, 20 minutes left, which I'm hoping I don't sleep too long because I do want to get through a big chunk of reading tomorrow. I'm now at 70% in One Beach, Two Babes and the Squid. It's still sitting at a 2.5 for me. I'm just not massively interested in it. It's a bit too much going on that is just not as developed as I think it could be. So, but hopefully it picks up tomorrow morning, but I'll let you know. Also, my sleep schedule is so out of whack, so if I wake up at 2 in the morning and decide to read, I'm not saying it won't happen, but that's a possibility. So maybe the next time I update you, I'll either have read more, have read nothing, or if I completely forget to, then it will just be when I finish the book. So I will see you in the morning. Okay, so I slept in a little bit longer than anticipated, so I only got up at 9 today, which isn't great because that left me with just 12 hours left of reading, but I have finally finished One Beach, Two Babes and Squid. I think I am going to give it a 3-star, being very generous, because obviously it was an ARC copy. I just didn't love it. I thought the beginning was quite messy, and as I said, there were so many overlapping mystery elements that it was just a bit convoluted. I didn't understand what was happening for part of it. I have a pretty good understanding of what happened now that I finished it. The ending I thought was pretty good, but maybe a bit rushed. So overall it was okay. There was a romance shoved in there, which I was just a bit like, did we need that? But equally, if it wasn't there, would I have been as interested? Probably not. So that's where we stand. I've now got, hopefully you can see this, 10 hours and 43 minutes to go. So I think I'm gonna have a bath. I don't read in the bath, that's my problem. So I'm gonna read whilst I run myself a bath, and then maybe I'll put an audiobook or something on just so I'm still reading, because I've lost a lot of time from being asleep, because I did wake up at 5 and then I promptly went back to sleep. So I had the opportunity to get up early and I still didn't. So that's very sad. I don't know what I'm going to start next, but you obviously see it in the next clip. Now that it is light outside and I'll be holding a physical book, I am going to do my little reading clips. I just don't tend to do them when I'm reading on Kindle because like you can't see anything happening. So I'm going to pick my next book and I'll talk to you when I'm about halfway through, hopefully. So it's been a little while since my last update and I have done quite a bit of reading. So whilst my bath was running, I thought I would finish Rent a Girlfriend. I had 3 chapters left of this. Obviously it's a manga, so pretty quick and easy to read. So I finished this. It's a 3-star. I have literally nothing to say. I'm probably going to read the second one because I do own it, but it wasn't my favourite thing I've ever read. But the only other manga series that I read was My Love Mix-Up, and that's like a 5-star for me, the whole series. Loved it. So I'm going to continue with this, just probably not today. Then I thought I would start alternating between 2 books of different genres because I wasn't sure what I wanted to read. I think that's doing me a favour, to be honest, because my brain is just not in the mood to read either. Just any genre at all, really. So I continued with A Game of Hearts and Heists. Obviously, as I said before, this is a steamy lesbian fantasy with a heist involved, and I am enjoying it. I'm on page 203 because I've done 2 rounds of reading this book and 1 round of the other book that I'll talk about in a minute. It's sitting at about a 3.5 for me. Like, I am enjoying it, but it's not my favourite thing I've ever read, simply put. This follows Scarlett, who is an assassin, and her sister Sterling, I think, is also involved, and it follows Quinn, who is not a healer, what am I thinking, like a medic. She has loads of potions for medicine, and she also is they call it a poisoner, but I'm sure that's not a real word, but she creates poisons as well and sells them to people. And they have been enlisted by the queen of their kingdom, which I do not know the name of, to go to Borderland, which is like a separate part of the kingdom, I think. Something maybe dodgy happened there, to steal back a piece of a map so she can unite the whole kingdom again. Yeah, that's kind of it. We are 200 pages in and they have yet to enter Borderland. I know this is a trilogy and I do have the other 2 books, so I don't know if I'm assuming this is going to end on a cliffhanger. I'm getting that vibe because not a lot is happening. Like, they've only just assembled the team and there is that much book left. Like, is the heist in this section? I hope so. So that's my thoughts on this one. And then the other book that I have been back and forth with is Nora Goes Off Script by Annabelle Monaghan. I am enjoying this. It is very Hallmark movie-esque, which I think is the point because our main character Nora is a script writer of Hallmark movies. So I think that's kind of fun that that's the case. And the premise is essentially she's written a less Hallmark movie. She's just written like a women's fiction movie. I don't know if that's the same genre in movies as it is books. And it's being filmed at her house for 2 days, and so obviously this big famous Hollywood actor has come to her house. His name is Leo, and he has recently lost his mother, so he needs a break from his big city life and basically just like decides he's gonna live at hers. I don't know if I missed the bit where she agreed to it the first time, but he ends up living at her house and sort of bonding with her children, and it's just really nice. So I'm enjoying this. This is one that I don't have to use my brain for, which is great. I'm on page 103 and it is now time to switch back to this book and read some more. So theoretically I could finish it because it's only 250 something pages long. but I don't know if I'll do that. I might save the last 50 pages as like another treat when I read the next 100 of Game of Hearts and Heists. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna read this. I've got 6 hours and 23 minutes left. It is 2:45, and I did remember actually, and I keep forgetting to say it to the camera, I remembered I've got a live coaching session at 5 o'clock for an hour, which means I'm gonna have to pause the timer to like add it on to the end, because obviously I want to utilize the whole reading time. So instead of finishing at 9:10 like I thought I would, I'm probably gonna finish around 9:30, because it will take me 10 minutes to get there, 10 minutes to get back. So that's the plan. It's a bit later than I was anticipating finishing, and I'm so tired. I'm an absolute just big fan of midday naps, and I'm really struggling not having a midday nap right now. So I'm gonna keep reading. Hopefully if I just keep pushing through, I'm not gonna fall asleep, but we'll see. And like, I don't really have time to fall asleep now. I've got like an hour and a half till I need to get ready, because I'm still in a different pair of pajamas, my little Hercules ones. They're kind of cute. And my Literature Stitches jumper, which I will wear to my life coaching, because this is outdoor clothing. So that is the plan. I'm going to see how much more I can get read before then. I think I can do about 100 pages every hour and 10 minutes ish. If my timings are correct, I think that's how quick I'm reading. So I should be able to get quite a bit more read before I have to go out. But I will let you know where I get to. I am back. I ended up going out for a couple of hours actually, so I had to pause the timer for a while, which means that I now won't finish this until like gone midnight, which is fun. We love staying up 2 nights in a row past midnight. I don't think my brain can handle that, but I have updates. So I finished Nora Goes Off Script. I loved this, but the miscommunication, if that's even what this is classified as, I don't know what it's classified as. It was like a 3rd act breakup thing. That bothered me significantly. So this book is getting a 4-star. I think that Leo Vance, the main love interest in this, is the greenest flag I've ever seen. Is he? I say that and then Shep from Ready or Not by Cara Bastone popped into my mind. And her other book, Promise Me Sunshine, which ironically can't remember the name of the love interest in. He's also a very big green flag, but this guy, he's definitely up there. So 4 stars for this one. I didn't like the kids as much in this book, but we move. So, and then I have just finished A Game of Hearts and Heists. This book I did enjoy, but I felt it was quite slow. Like, not a lot happened. I think I showed you before, like the final 100 pages is where the action was at. So I gave it a 3.5. I am going to continue the series because I do have all 3 books in the trilogy, and I think the ending was a good setup for the next 2 books. So I am excited to continue the series, but not right now. Then finally, as I said before, I've got a few arcs that I need to read, and I thought I would try and get into one of those next. So I'm going to read A Fellowship of Librarians and Dragons. I can't remember who the author is right now. I'll probably tell you at the end of the video, maybe, if I remember in my next update. But I have got 3 hours and 16 minutes to go, and that is almost exactly how long my Kindle is predicting it will take me to read this book. So hopefully I can do that. I'm going to smash into it right now. I've got a very long video about Silver Elites on, because I wanted to do some research before I buy that book, because if it's AI, I don't want to read it. But I don't think it's AI. That'd be, I don't think it is, but then I feel bad for the author if it is AI. So I feel bad for the author if it is an AI and just being accused of all this. Is what I'm trying to say. My brain is not functioning right, okay? But I'm going to crack into A Fellowship of Librarians and Dragons and see what I think. It is the next day. I did indeed stay up until 1 in the morning to finish my reading, and I am very excited to say I finished my 24-hour readathon and I read 5 books. That's insane. That is insane to me. I don't think I was very far into One Beach, Two Babes and a Squid. So I think it was 5 full books. 4.5 because the manga's obviously quite quick. But going through the books that I read, obviously I did start with One Beach, Two Babes and the Squid, which is an arc. I think it is out. I went to go look on my phone to see if it's out. I think it is out now. It is a comedic mystery, I think I mentioned before. It was enjoyable. Wasn't quite to my taste, but it was enjoyable. If you like that kind of thing, obviously check it out. And I gave that a 3-star. Then I read Rent a Girlfriend, which I was partway through already. This is obviously a manga series. I read volume 1. This, again, it was good. I probably am going to read the second one just because I own it, but I'm not going to go out of my way to go and buy the rest of the series. This might be one that my boyfriend's just going to have to keep gifting me the next copy of if I want to keep going. And again, I gave this a 3-star as well. It was funny, it was enjoyable. Obviously the premise of this is that, what is his name? I don't know which one's his last name, which one's his first name, because they do it different in Japan. But it says Kazuya Kinoshita is basically a virgin in college, I think. College or uni. And he's just been dumped by his girlfriend of 1 month. And he's upset about it and decides he's going to rent a girlfriend so he can like get some experience in dating. And it kind of just spiraled from there, really. It was a bit like they were just shouting at each other. So it was funny. It was a very horny book. I wasn't anticipating that, but I gave this a 3-star as well. Then I read Nora Goes Off Script by Annabelle Monaghan, and I loved it. I think it's safe to say I'm going to thoroughly enjoy reading. It's at the same time next summer I've got left, and obviously, what's the next one called? I got it in the post today. Oh, shit. It's a Love Story, came out yesterday. So I'm very excited to read those next 2. I'm going to start with this one though, because I am doing a reading new releases video as per always. And this is a new release I will be reading for that, so keep your eyes peeled for that. Actually, I don't know what order the videos are coming out in. You might see that first, who knows. But I gave this a 4-star. I also read, trying to get through my physical TBR, A Game of Hearts and Heists by Ruby Rowe. This is a steamy lesbian fantasy, as I have mentioned. And I did enjoy this. I'm excited to pick up the next book. I think it's going to pick up, hopefully it picks up a bit more in that, because this was a whole lot of nothing and then 100 pages of chaos. That's what this was. And again, it was a very horny book, which I don't know. I mean, it says steamy on the front. I should have anticipated it was going to be quite erotic, but took me off guard anyway. But I did enjoy this, and I gave it a 3.5 because I do want to continue the series, so for me that bumped it up a little bit. I did enjoy this. And then finally, I believe, I read another arc. I read A Fellowship of Librarians and Dragons. I believe it is by J. Penn? Oh, I think I'm just muddling it up with the name Penn Cole, because that's what I can see out the corner of my eye. I think it's J. Penn is the author of this book. I still didn't check. I'll probably find out. You'll see it on my Instagram, because I do intend to buy the physical copy because I enjoyed it that much. That was just a sweet, cozy fantasy following Dolly, I think is how we're saying her name, Dolly. And she gets her inheritance from her uncle who's passed away, and she opens it and it is a dragon's egg, and she doesn't understand why she's been given this dragon's egg. So we get a bit of like, there's the fantasy, oh, she's a dwarf as well. That's like the fantasy element there, dwarf. She starts like being friends with a gargoyle. Is it a Lennox? Is that like the thing with a fuzzy tail? There's a lot of like fantasy creatures and wizards in this, which I thought was really funny because I didn't know what to expect going in. I didn't know the premise at all, but I really enjoyed it. It was such a quick read. I think my Kindle said I was going to read it in 3 and a bit hours, and I read it in maybe 2. So I absolutely flew through that. I really liked it. It's the second book in a series, so I'm going to read the first one because they're like interconnected standalones. You didn't really need to read them in order, but I'm definitely going to check out the first one because I loved it, and I gave that a 4-star as well. So that is the 5 books that I read in my 24 hours. I had a great time. I'm gonna need to block out more days where I can just sit and do nothing but read, because that was great. And yeah, I think that's it for this video. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next week. Bye.